Hello NBA fans, every day we have news about the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm a Lakers fan and I'm counting on you to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. The Lakers always look for big stars for their roster, and one player who underwent surgery and spent a long time out of the NBA, but is back and promises a glorious season, is Joel Embiid, who has the conditions to form a lethal duo with Luka Doncic and scare the rivals from the West. Joel Embiid in shape is dominant. Embiid has physical, 2.13 meters tall, and knows how to use physicality against the rivals. He is also a complete player on offense, capable of scoring points in several ways, including dunks, mid and long-range shots, and plays with his back to the basket. He is an excellent defender, capable of protecting the rim, rebounding and stealing the ball. This is all the Lakers need, so if the trade is made, the Lakers will have the best duo in the NBA, Joel Embiid and Luka Doncic. Trade season rumors: Lakers may trade LeBron James for Joel Embiid. It's become clear that Los Angeles is gearing its contract strategy toward building around Luka Doncic in 2026 and 2027. The possibility that James could push for a trade is more than clear, based on the Lakers' offseason decisions thus far and comments James' agent, Rich Paul, made to ESPN's Shams Charania late last month. The question is where would make the most sense for James in his age 41 season, which also features the type of player the Lakers would want to return for the four-time MVP. One possible answer is Philadelphia 76ers center and recent MVP Joel Embiid. James opted into his $52.6 million contract in late June and immediately indicated he expects the Lakers to invest resources for a chance to win in 2025-26, which could be his final season in Los Angeles and the NBA. But LA has not made any blockbuster trades and has struggled through the early days of free agency, losing Dorian Finney-Smith to the Houston Rockets and seeing center targets Clint Capella and Brook Lopez sign with Western rivals Houston and the Los Angeles Clippers, respectively. Joel Embiid-Luka Doncic duo could prove dynamic in difficult Western Conference. Philly should be able to compete in the East, perhaps even with better odds to make an NBA Finals appearance than the Lakers, considering how difficult it will be just to make the field of 8 in the 2026 Western Conference playoffs. Andre Drummond remains with the Sixers to provide size, and the Lakers could include Jackson Hayes' contract, $2.9 million next season, and the contract of Bronny James, nearly $2 million in 2025-26. Combined with James' salary, that would get close to the $59.5 million Embiid will earn next year. Adding Jordan Goodwin's $2.4 million to the mix would make for nearly an exact match. If James wants out of LA, wants to compete for a title, wants to play with his son and wants to be the guy on a team in 2025-26, then flipping him to Philly for Embiid potentially fulfills all of those desires. Los Angeles would get off of James' deal and get the center they've been looking for in Embiid, who has 3 years remaining on his $193 million contract that includes a player option for $69 million in 2029. When healthy, Embiid remains an MVP-caliber player. The 7-time All-Star, who will play next season at 31, won the award in 2022-23, leading the league in scoring at 33.1 points per game and adding 10.2 rebounds, 4.2 assists, 1.7 blocks and 1.0 steals. Embiid has played in just 58 contests over the past 2 years, but if the 76ers can satisfy the Lakers that the future Hall of Fame center's health is reasonable moving forward, Los Angeles would have an opportunity to be formidable over the next 3 years led by a Doncic-Embiid duo. Lakers believe J.J. Redick can unlock DeAndre Ayton and turn him into their perfect center. The biggest move of the summer for the Lakers was undoubtedly the signing of DeAndre Ayton. While the former number 1 overall pick has a history of underachieving, the Lakers believe they are uniquely equipped to bring the best out of him. Team sources believe the Lakers have the right coaching staff to make that happen. In J.J. Redick, they have a deadly serious head coach who also understands how to relate to players, wrote Dan Woik of The Athletic. Assistant Scott Brooks worked with Ayton in Portland 2 years ago, and Nate McMillan has either played or coached with or against virtually every personality type the NBA's ever concocted. And if not, the Lakers have maintained their flexibility for next summer and beyond. DeAndre Ayton may not have been the Lakers' first choice for a center, but they were desperate for an upgrade after missing out on Miles Turner and other top free agents. It wasn't until Ayton that they finally filled the position, and the Lakers are feeling optimistic about what they can get out of him. On the court, Ayton's talent is undeniable. At 7 feet 0 inches and 250 pounds, he's got impressive mobility and a naturally gifted touch around the rim. In 40 games for the Trailblazers last season, he averaged 14.4 points, 10.2 rebounds, and 1.5 assists per game on 56.6% shooting. At his best, DeAndre is a dominant rim-running center who can finish in the paint, clean the glass, and contest shots against opposing frontcourts. The problem with Ayton is more about his focus and work ethic than anything else. Over the years, he's been described as an inconsistent player whose effort varies from game to game. With the Suns, his poor work ethic held back his team from reaching its true potential, and it caused a rift that eventually led to his trade. In Portland, Ayton had a fresh start in a no-pressure environment. Yet, he still somehow overstayed his welcome with fits of rage and temper tantrums that defined his tenure. By the 2025 offseason, Portland was so done with Ayton that they paid off the rest of his contract to cut ties with him forever. This summer Ayton's worth and reputation have fallen to an all-time low, and many fans have their doubts that he'll be able to live up to the Lakers' ultra-high standards. Fortunately, they believe that J.J. Redick has the best chance out of any coach to set him on the right path. As a former athlete himself, Redick knows just what to say to get through to his players, and his voice is strong in the locker room. With the respect of the team and a system that's easy to believe in, Redick has found success on the Lakers, and he may be able to get through to Ayton in a way that other coaches couldn't. If that doesn't work, there's still hope that his partnership with Luka Doncic might lead to a breakout season. For a team with championship aspirations next year, they'll need all the help they can get to finish near the top of the standings, and that'll be tough if Ayton isn't playing up to his potential. The Lakers had no better choice but to bring him in, but now they need to set him up to succeed with a plan and approach that inspires him to give maximum effort. Lakers fans in meltdown after Warriors shockingly put clamps on Dalton Connect. Dubs with a W to start the California Classic. Fans of the Los Angeles Lakers have been left in meltdown on social media after the Golden State Warriors put the clamps on former first-round pick Dalton Connect in the California Classic opener at Chase Center on Saturday. The Lakers made a hot start to take a double-digit lead early in the second quarter, but the Warriors produced a dominant 30-17 third quarter to take control and record a 89-84 win on their home floor. The Warriors kept Dalton Connect quiet in the California Classic opener. Connect had just 2 points until nearly halfway through the fourth quarter, and while he did get going a little down the stretch, the 24-year-old still struggled in finishing with 10 points on 3 of 13 shooting while also finishing as a game-worst -13 in his 30 minutes of playing time. The Lakers had tried to move Connect just before the midseason deadline in February, originally trading him to the Charlotte Hornets along with Cam Reddish and future draft capital for big man Mark Williams. That trade was now famously rescinded after the Lakers failed Williams' medical, though the 23-year-old did return and play for the Hornets, which undoubtedly helped his eventual move to the Phoenix Suns last week. Connect remains in constant trade rumors this offseason as the Lakers look to upgrade their roster, but he certainly wouldn't have done his value much good after an underwhelming performance on Saturday. Connect approaching 30 years old and can't even cook in the summer league. Just got home from work, now time to see what Connect doing. I don't care about Dalton Connect missing shots, but his defense on the other hand has looked atrocious. Anticipation of the game took a hit before the tip when it was announced that Bronny James wouldn't play for the Lakers, while Warriors rookies Alex Tui and Will Richard were also ineligible to play as they await finalization of the trades that brought them to the franchise in the second round of the NBA draft. After finishing last season on a two-way contract with Golden State, Jackson Rowe impressed with 13 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals and 2 blocks on 6 of 10 shooting in 28 minutes. The Warriors' other incumbent two-way contracted player, Taron Armstrong, controlled the game well with 7 points, 2 rebounds and 6 assists, 0 turnovers, in 25 minutes. Rowe and Armstrong both finished as an equal game-high +12 in the 5-point win. Isaiah Mobley, brother of Cleveland Cavaliers star and NBA Defensive Player of the Year Evan, made a bright start in a Golden State jersey with 13 points, while Blake Hinson and LJ Cryer each nailed a pair of triples off the bench. The Warriors will take on the San Antonio Spurs in their second game on Sunday, with the hope that fans will be able to get their first glimpse of Tui and Richard on the floor. Lakers expected to sign Stephen Curry's former 6'3" teammate to replace Dorian Finney-Smith. The Los Angeles Lakers will be without Dorian Finney-Smith for the 2025-26 season. The former Brooklyn Nets contributor who joined the Lakers in December decided to sign with the Houston Rockets on Monday after declining his $15.4 million player option. 89, Lakers 84. According to ClutchPoint's Brett Siegel, the organization is expected to sign Stephen Curry's former 6'3" Golden State Warriors teammate, who could serve as Finney-Smith's replacement. Outside of pursuing extra frontcourt depth behind DeAndre Ayton, the Lakers are also pursuing guard help to complement Luka's play in the backcourt, ClutchPoint's Brett Siegel wrote Thursday. DeAnthony Melton has been a key name linked to Los Angeles throughout the offseason, and there is a growing expectation that the Lakers will land him in free agency. Granted, Finney-Smith, small forward, and Melton, combo guard, play different positions on the hardwood. However, both veterans are perimeter-oriented assets who excel when drilling open triples and wreaking havoc defensively. Melton's seventh NBA season was cut short due to a partially torn ACL suffered in late November. A month after the devastating setback, the Warriors traded Melton, Reese Beekman, and 3 unprotected second-round picks to the Nets for Dennis Schroeder and a 2025 second-round pick. In 6 games with the Curry-led Dubs, the USC product averaged 10.3 points, 3.3 rebounds, 2.8 assists, and 1.2 steals per game, shooting 40% from the field and 37.1% from downtown. Although acquiring an asset like Andrew Wiggins, via trade, would be a far more impactful offseason move for the Lakers, Melton's stable two-way play could suffice alongside Doncic and LeBron James. Based on Siegel's report, it wouldn't be surprising to witness Melton land with Los Angeles soon. Lakers look even worse in Dorian Finney-Smith's saga after latest offseason twist. The Los Angeles Lakers free agency blunder continues to haunt them. The Los Angeles Lakers had their offseason start off on a pretty rough note when Dorian Finney-Smith decided to jump ship and join a different Western Conference contender. The situation looks a whole lot worse seeing Cam Whitmore get traded to the Washington Wizards for scraps. Shams Charania broke the news of Whitmore being dealt away from the Houston Rockets for an unremarkable return package of just 2 second-round picks. Michael Scotto would later add the exact details for those interested. Scotto wrote, "Update, the Washington Wizards are acquiring Cam Whitmore from the Houston Rockets in exchange for a 2026 Chicago Bulls second-round pick and a 2029 Sacramento Kings second-round pick," league sources told Hoops Hype. There are levels to which this looks bad for the Lakers. It all starts with the original trade that acquired Finney-Smith from the Brooklyn Nets itself. Rob Pelinka losing key assets hurts Lakers on multiple fronts. For what it's worth, this is all a benefit of hindsight type of situation for the Lakers. The trade to originally acquire Finney-Smith did look like a good one at the time it was made. However, given how everything has unfolded since, it is hard to still feel that way. The Lakers sent D'Angelo Russell, Maxwell Lewis, and 3 future second-round picks to the Nets in order to secure Finney-Smith and Shake Milton. That looks like a steep price to pay when looking at it from today's lens. Giving up the second-round draft capital to acquire Finney-Smith is what comes across as a particularly difficult sacrifice now. Those picks could have been used to entice the Rockets to send Whitmore to Hollywood, or in any other deal of the sort that required a sweetening of the pot. There was an equally poor use of leverage for the Lakers when the Rockets went over their mid-level to acquire both Finney-Smith and Clint Capella this offseason. One of those signings needed to be turned into a sign-and-trade. The Lakers could not ensure that it would be them. The Rockets don't have enough remaining in their mid-level to sign Clint Capella to these terms. It looks like a sign-and-trade is coming, either with this deal or for Dorian Finney-Smith. The argument in defense of Rob Pelinka here would be that the Rockets were not likely very interested in doing business to directly aid another Western Conference rival. That much is probably a fair thought, to a certain capacity. However, reports from Zach Lowe on the bad negotiations with regard to Finney Smith's contract situation do not paint Pelinka in much of a positive light. The Lakers ultimately walked away with Jake LaRavia instead and a little more cap flexibility instead, leading to the DeAndre Ayton signing. Things could have went much worse for Los Angeles than they did. However, it is difficult to ignore the missteps that are apparent now at multiple points along the path traveled by Pelinka and the front office, mismanaging the assets at their disposal.